And I'm joined by its Rajya Sabha MP, Milind Deora now joins me. Appreciate your joining us, Mr. Deora. Prithviraj Chavan says Vidhan Sabha will be a repeat of Lok Sabha in Maharashtra, advantage to the opposition. What do you believe has changed between June, when you lost in Maharashtra, and now in October, November?
Well, Mr. Chavan is a friend of mine. He's free to make these predictions. I'm not one who makes such predictions. Neither am I overconfident, but I'm confident, Rajdeep, that this alliance led by the Chief Minister, who in my opinion is an X-factor in this election, will come back to power for a third consecutive term, will get a hat-trick, just like the NDA did in Haryana, despite all predictions. And the reason I say that is, number one, because of the Chief Minister's popularity. I say this because I'm confident that he is widely popular across the state. Secondly, because of the development and the work that has happened in Maharashtra in the last 2 years. Whether you live in Mumbai, whether you live in a rural part of the state, nobody can ignore that there has been a transformation in the city, in the state, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of investments, in terms of bringing business back to the state, in terms of creating jobs.
But all these factors, Mr. Deora, all these factors were there in the Lok Sabha and you still lost. What has changed? You're saying the Chief Minister is an X-factor. The fact is, the real battle in the Lok Sabha was Congress versus BJP in Vidarbha and Marathwada and Western Maharashtra, and that's where Sharad Pawar and the Congress scored over their rivals.
Please see what happened in Haryana during the Lok Sabha elections and what happened in Haryana during the Vidhan Sabha elections. The fact remains that there was a fake narrative being spread by the opposition during the Lok Sabha elections, that if Narendra Modi ji becomes Prime Minister of India again, the constitution will be changed arbitrarily, reservations for backward and lower castes will be abolished. This myth and this misconception was debunked and busted during the Haryana elections. And that's why the NDA came back to power in Haryana and got a hat-trick, which is unprecedented, as you know, and historic in Haryana. The same way, there was a fake narrative being spread among certain communities in Maharashtra. That fake narrative has slowly but steadily in the last few months been busted by different leaders of the Mahayuti. So that's one aspect that I'm confident of. Number two, the developmental work that happened before the Lok Sabha, certainly there was a lot of work that happened before the Lok Sabha elections, but people also beginning to see certain development come into play wherein it's being not just a Bhumi Pujan, but actual launches of projects happening. In Mumbai, for instance, look at the coastal road, look at the Atal Setu, look at the Navi Mumbai airport. There are these infrastructure projects which may have been a promise to people in the Lok Sabha elections, but today people are seeing that lead to fruition.
No, but the fact, Mr. Deora, if you're saying this election is about development, why does your government, as it has done in the last 1 month or 2 months, need these series of SOPs? You've done more than 1,000 GRs alone in the last couple of weeks. Suddenly, on the eve of the election announcement, toll tax was waived for vehicles coming into Mumbai. There was a sense of desperation. Even the Ladki Bahin scheme of 1,500 rupees, according to Mr. Chavan, is a copy of the Congress scheme, where they gave 2,000 rupees to women. Then the Prime Minister called it Revdi. What do we call what you do? Isn't it Revdi when you waive off toll tax one day, when you give 1,500 rupees to women the next, when you promise even salaries increases to madrasa teachers? Isn't all of this Revdi?
Well, it's amusing because when, if the Congress wants to take credit for the scheme, then why are they opposing it? Number one.
No, he said they'll continue it.
Well, different Congress leaders have said they'll discontinue it. So there seems to be a difference of opinion among Congress leaders themselves about whether to continue it or not continue it. So look, there is a fundamental, and I say this as a fiscal conservative myself, there is a fundamental difference between a Revdi, where you say I'm giving people free water, free electricity, which ultimately will come in the way government will have to bridge that gap by taxing people. There's a fundamental difference between those kinds of schemes and giving a stimulus to people who need it the most. And this is not something new that is unique to just the state of Maharashtra. Every political party across the spectrum has talked about some form of a stimulus package for people who need it the most, from the far left to the far right. The difference is some people get it done, some people only talk about it. As the Chief Minister said to you, Rajdeep Sardesai, on your interview that there's a difference between khatakhat politics and fatafat politics. Talking about talk is cheap. Getting something done is very difficult.
Mr. Deora, khatakat or fatafat, Maharashtra is running a huge debt. It seems in the last few months, some will say it's cost correction, others say it's desperation. There's a sense of desperation, paisa feko, vote low.
So Rajdeep, then this is very unfair. I don't hear you asking this question to other states and other parties and other governments when they have a stimulus package. Forget about asking those who have RAVD packages. I'm not even talking about a RAVD system. I'm saying giving stimulus packages. What is direct benefits transfer? Direct benefits transfer happened when I was a Lok Sabha MP back in the day. It's a way of giving money directly in the hands of people so that you eliminate wastage, you eliminate corruption. If that is a RAVD, then I'm sorry, we need to have a debate again as to what is a RAVD and what is a stimulus package.
Okay.
So there is a fundamental difference in the two schemes. There is, as I said, there's a fundamental difference in saying I'm going to make everything free for you and saying that those who need it the most to bridge inflationary pressures, to reduce inflationary pressures, to provide some kind of a social security cushion, you use a direct benefits transfer, you use technology to reach those who it's intended to reach.
Okay.
Today, every 1,500 rupees that reaches a woman, a poor, needy woman, underprivileged woman in the state of Maharashtra, rural or urban Maharashtra, is being directly transferred from the state exchequer to that woman.
Okay.
It's not going through any broker in the middle. It's not going through the collector. It's not going through a panchayat chief. It's not going through the municipality. It's going directly to them. It's eliminating wastage. They get that money in their hands. They can decide what they want to do. Many of them have started businesses of it. Many of them have boosted the rural economy.
Okay. You're saying it's eliminating wastage. It's a direct benefit transfer.
No, what is it? I'm asking you, what is it?
Just a minute. The other big question, and this question is, again, Mr. Chauhan has raised, is corruption. He claims corruption is going to be a big issue. People will not accept those MLAs who, according to him, switch sides for 50 crores and more. Do you believe corruption is an issue? Your party was accused at the time of MLAs switching sides with the lure of money and power. Similar allegations have been made against Ajit Pawar as well. Do you believe it's an issue, or do you believe that's again a fake narrative?
No, I would like to ask Mr. Chauhan, I think corruption should become an issue. I would like to ask you, Rajdeep Sardesai, to pull out Prithviraj Chauhan's statements against Uddhav Thackeray's led municipality, Mumbai municipality, which they have controlled for 30 years. How many years? 30 years. You have reported on this, Rajdeep, in the past, about how Shiv Sena was looting Mumbai municipality. I know you have reported on this in the past. Bring out that corruption also.
No, but
what
then,
corruption
but
happened
then
to the
they
municipality?
will turn, but then they will turn around, sir. They will turn around and say, look at the allegations you made against Ajit Pawar on corruption.
Please,
the fact is, just a minute. You're saying, pick out Prithviraj Chauhan's about Shiv Sena's, Uddhav Thackeray's corruption in BMC. They will pick out statements about Ajit Pawar. My point to you, is it an issue?
Bring out statements against Ajit Pawar. Attack him, go to court if you have any proof. But the fact remains that the Mumbai municipality is the richest civic body in this country. Mumbai municipality's budget is more than certain state governments in our country. It was looted. There was a pothole problem. Today, you tell me this monsoon, we just finished the monsoon in Mumbai. The debate around potholes has significantly reduced in this monsoon. Why is that? Where otherwise it was a recurring theme monsoon after monsoon. Every monsoon, we would have a debate on potholes. You would have debates on potholes. Today, you didn't have a debate this year on potholes. Why not? That means the number of potholes has reduced because there was a nexus between the politicians, between the contractors, to simply say, let's repair the roads, bring in a contractor, the contractor would do a shoddy job, and you would make money on the side.
Mr. Deora, potholes have been reduced, but Shiv Sena Shivaji statues collapsed. Let me ask you in conclusion a simple point. You said at the outset that Mr. Shinde will be one of the X factors. Are you very clear that if you win this election, if your Mahayuti wins, Eknath Shinde will be the next Chief Minister of Maharashtra? Could it be the BJP if they get more seats, or is that issue settled now?
This is something we are going into the election with Mr. Shinde as the Chief Ministerial candidate. It's but natural that if we come to power, he will be the Chief Ministerial candidate. But this is not something which will be discussed on an India Today studio. Perhaps who the MVA Chief Minister will be discussed on an India Today studio. I can assure you, not the Mahayuti Chief Minister. When you talk of corruption, I'll tell you why Mr. Shinde is an X factor. Maharashtra 2 years ago was the second state in the country in terms of attracting FDI. Do you know one of the reasons for that? Was the then Chief Minister was openly encouraging, endorsing, protecting rogue police officers who were going and planting bombs outside the homes of industrialists to extort money from them. There was a huge flight of capital, not just among large industrial houses, but even among small traders. Today, those people are investing again in Maharashtra. Maharashtra has again reclaimed its position as the #1 state in terms of attracting foreign direct investment. In fact, 52% of FDI that came to India in the last year has come to Maharashtra. So that's an example of how, when you clean up the system, you attract money, you attract investments, you create jobs, you bring factories to the state. That's an example of corruption which the opposition must ask. I have not, unfortunately, heard you having a debate when Sachin Vaze was being protected by the then CM as to why they were doing that.
I have had debates on the Sachin Vaze Antila case. Will have debates when people say Pannas Khoke Ekdam okay. My view is very clear.
Those are speculation and conjecture is a different
You're
issue.
Saying it's speculation and conjecture versus a fact. Okay.
Something which is factual, where anyone can make a political statement in a rally. That's very easy to do.
Okay.
Even I can hurl a political allegation. When a chief minister of a state is asked on the floor of the assembly, what is this case? And the chief minister says, please don't compare a rogue police officer who's extorting money from industrialists to Osama bin Laden. I counter that. I say, yes, we should compare them to Osama bin Laden. They are terrorizing the state. And that's what leads to a flight of capital. Today, when people are questioning law and order in the state, let me ask that counter question. There's not been a single terror attack in Mumbai in the last 10 years. What was the situation from 2004 to 2014? I've been an MP. I know how many times I had to petition the central government.
Mr. Deora, you were then a Congress MP at the time. Today you are claiming that the law and order had collapsed. And you know that another former Congress MLA has been shot dead only a couple of days ago. Either way, Mr. Deora, this is going to be an election.
I'm raising it again now. When you talk of law and order, let me give you one startling statistic, which is a positive development.
Yes.
Let's end on a positive note. Today, Gadchiroli in Maharashtra was a Naxal hotbed. It was part of the Red Corridor, as you know. Gadchiroli was known for Naxalism, for killing of paramilitary forces, for police officers. Today, Gadchiroli, Naxalism has completely ended in Gadchiroli. Gadchiroli has been cleaned up. It's becoming the steel hub of Maharashtra and India. Recently, a Bhumi Pujan, a foundation laying ceremony, was done for one of the largest steel companies, factories in the country, which will give 7,000 jobs to locals. Is that not an example of turning around law and order in the state? Please. People in Maharashtra and Mumbai feel safer. Women feel safer in Mumbai than they do in any part of the country. That's a reality. Mumbai police, they may have shortcomings, but they remain one of the most professional forces in this country. What has happened to Baba Siddiqui is extremely tragic. It's unfortunate. The Mumbai police will leave no stone unturned to find the culprits and to punish them. That is something I can assure people of Mumbai and Maharashtra through your channel.
Okay, let me leave it there, Milind Deora. We'll wait and see all these narratives, whether they are real or fake, play out in this big Maharashtra battle. But for joining me here on the news today, thanks very much.
Thank you.